Hi all, and welcome to my channel. I've been absent for quite a while. I mean, not quite a while, but there's been a lot more space between the videos that I create lately. For one thing, it's summer, and I like being outdoors. But also, I injured my well, I didn't injure my knee. I thought I did, and I couldn't get up and down the steps to my shop. I just found out the other day that it wasn't an injury, but I've got a little bit of arthritis. Um, so things are under control, and I was able to get back down the steps into the shop again. I'll tell you what, getting old is not good. But hey, it's all good. Everything's good. It's all good. All right. Anyway, I'm I'm a pretty slow model builder. Anybody who watches my channel knows that. Um, but this 31 Model A is really going slow. But I'm going little by little. I had a lot of breaks in between here. The the video the video that's coming up here is actually two segments shot about well, the first one was shot, and it was about another, I don't know, week before I shot the second one. Just a lot of stuff going on right now. All good, but a lot of stuff going on. The I mean, between my knee and taking care of my mother and summertime and just a lot of other stuff. Anyway, all is good. Everything is good. Before I go down to the shop with you, I do want to. I got a shop card. This guy right here, this shop card. This came from John at Amateur Scale Model Building. And hey, if you think about it, go out there to YouTube and give him some love. So John's got quite a few videos out there, and hey, go give him some love. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling here and take you down to the shop. So hang in there. A little bit of an introduction to my channel, and then we'll be in my shop. Hang in there. I'll see you in, I don't know, a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Bye. Hi all, and it's been a while since I did a video from the bench, and I mean, you know why. If you watched my previous video, I had done something to my knee and I just had a problem doing steps getting down here to the basement. But here I am, and I'm back on the 31 Model A. In my last video about the 31, I had the frame all clamped up, and now the frame is finished with the bumper supports, and it is painted. I did a gloss black on it, and I did that because a lot of the Model A's from that time period did have gloss black frames. I also just about finished up, I should say, the engine. So I did some detailing on it. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a lot of dirtying. I'm going to put some highlighting on it so that it definitely brings out some more of the detail. But there was a few things that had to happen on here in order to get this to go together. One thing is this piece in here. Let me see if I can see it. This piece right here, this point right here was not drilled into the engine, so I had to drill that. Again, this is not a big deal, but that hole was not drilled. The pulley in front here, the hole in the engine block was way too small. I had to open that up. And the shaft here on the fan, that shaft came out to about right here. Well, that had to get trimmed off. Otherwise, when it went into the frame, the radiator would definitely be in the way. So that's just a few things there. I had lost the dipstick, so I made my own, and I just used some wire. I think it's 26 gauge wire. I'm not sure, but I made my own dipstick for it, and I did the plugs. I painted the plugs white with one of the AK flat white markers, and I tried to get a little silver down here on where the plugs get fastened. So that's actually ready to get mounted into the frame. So that's ready to go. Except that I want to wire the spark plugs, and in the Model A's, a lot of times they didn't use wire, they just used copper strapping, and I wasn't sure how I was going to do that until I found this. This is, I believe it's called beading wire. It's wire for Craftsman, and it's Minicraft or something like that. Anyway, I found this on Amazon because I just haven't gotten to my local Hobby Lobby lately. But I found this on Amazon, and this is 1 millimeter thick, and it'll be perfect to do the spark plug straps. So that's what I'm about ready to do. I'm not going to do that on camera, but the spark plug straps go from the distributor and to the plug, from the distributor to the plug. So I'll be doing that to get that on there. I'm probably going to add some more wiring to this. And piping. I just have to do a little research. I did the research. I got to look at the pictures again as to where that stuff is, where the piping is. I then went to start assembling the front suspension, and the wheels are going to turn on this. So the way the wheels go together, and I had a heck of a time getting the yellow painted. I don't know why I have such a hard time painting yellow, but I think I finally got it. And the way you do this is that you put the two halves of the wheel on the tire itself, and then you glue it together. So that's all one assembly. And it worked. I mean, it works nice. It's fine. But when I was going to put the whole thing together, which says this goes on, and then there are some small pieces that, oh, I already have one on there. That's why it didn't. There's some small pieces here. It's going to be hard to see that. Some small pieces here, and there's one on the top and one on the bottom, and then the steering linkage. It's trying to stay on camera here. The steering linkage goes in between there. And then the way this gets mounted is that on the wheel backs, these pieces get glued in here first, into these little grooves on here. I know this is horrible to see. Into these grooves, and I don't know if that's easily seen or not, but it gets glued in there, and then naturally the tie rod or the steering rod has to be in between there when you do that. Well, in order to get these on the wheels, they give you a little rivet, and they tell you to literally hammer it in with a hammer. Well, I don't like using hammers on models if I don't have to. You know, I'm not a hammer mechanic. But you can see here in the instructions that they tell you to take the rivet and put it through the wheel, put the back in there, and then use a hammer to hammer the rivet into that back of the wheel. Because the wheels will rotate. I don't really care if the wheels rotate, but I'll try to do it. So anyway, what happened was that as I was doing that, first of all, I found out that the holes in the wheels here were way too small. I mean, they were way too small. So I got a drill out. I measured the rivet diameter, and the rivet diameter was about 0.08 inches. So I took a number 46 drill, which is an 081, and I drilled these out. And because it's plastic, they're still tight, which is fine. I'm sorry, I lost, oh, there we go. I had lost my external monitor, which is still fine, and they're still going to be press fitted in there, but I might even put a little drop of glue in there. But what they were doing is you put the rivet through here, and then you set this on there, and then you bang it in there. Well, what happened was that when I was tapping on it, and believe me, I was just tapping on it, I use I think this is a 3 ounce, no, it's a 1 ounce. It's a 1 ounce hammer, and I was tapping on it, and I was actually using a wooden dowel on top of it so that I didn't scratch anything up. I didn't break anything except the glue bond on the wheels. So I had to glue the wheels back together again, and I have them clamped here. They should be dry by now, so I'll go back to that so I can get the front end together. So that's where I'm at. I've got everything in prime except for some of the interior parts, and I actually have not decided what color I'm going to do the interior yet. The exterior is going to be a 2-tone blue, maybe a 3-tone blue, and so I haven't decided yet. If you got any ideas, leave a note in the description. I'll take anybody's idea. I'm not saying I'm going to use them, but I'll listen to ideas. So I took the front chrome bezel off of the radiator, and you know, this kit, it's a nice kit. Please, I'm not complaining about this kit. It's a nice kit, but the way the things are put on the sprues, you can't help but not damage it. But you know, there's a lot of sanding and stuff afterwards. Well, the chrome pieces are the same way, so I'm gonna have to strip the chrome. Now, I have the front radiator housing in the bath right now, and I just put that in there. That's why it didn't even start yet. But I'm going to strip that off, and this will be the very first time in my model building life resurrected here that I'm going to try using the Revell chrome spray, and I'll see how that works out. And that's why I'm just doing the radiator shroud first. I want to see how that's going to work out,
and how this is going to look before I strip the chrome off of everything else. And so that's where I'm at on that. And I had said this in other videos. I know a lot of people use the Purple Pond for stripping, but I use Detol, and it's a first aid antiseptic that takes a little longer. Like I just put that in there, so that won't be stripped now till tomorrow. It takes about 24 hours to strip chrome, depending on the thickness of the chrome. And anyway, this isn't hazardous. You can flush it down the drain. It smells a lot better, and it works. It just works. So, in fact, I want to order a little bit more because it's a little difficult to get, because I think it comes from England. Anyway, so that's that. So that's where I basically am at this point. I just wanted to do a quick update, and once I get more done, I'll do another segment to this. So stay with me, because I'm gonna oh, excuse me. So I'm gonna just take a second for you, but probably a day for me, and get some more work done on this, and then I'll come back in the very next segment. Hang in there, stay with me. I will be back for you in about a second or two. Hi, and welcome back. It's only been about a second or two for you, but rather than a day, it was like a little over a week for me till I got back here again. Just a lot going on. Nothing bad, but a lot going on. And I want to apologize for the background noise and the rumbles. The clothes dryer happens to be running, but also it has been, you know, enormously hot and humid here in Pennsylvania. We've been hitting in the middle 90s during the day with a real feel of around 100 or so, and the humidity's up around 90%. So the air conditioning pretty much runs almost continuously. So I wasn't even going to bother waiting for it to turn off. Anyway, in the time that I was gone, I made a little tiny bit of progress. One was I did get the engine mounted on the frame. I also painted the filter over there white, like an off-white. It was a Vallejo off-white, and I was starting to work on the plug wiring using this 1mm strapping, and it's going to be working, but I've got to find a way to actually punch a little hole in each end of this without really boogering everything up, and I'll find that. But I can do that even after the engine's all in and everything's around, because I also want to add the fuel lines to this, to the carburetor, which go up to the firewall, and the throttle linkage, which goes into the fire. I want to add all that because this is a large enough scale to really allow that to happen. So I'll get to that probably a lot later. I got the front wheel assembled, and here's the front wheels. This has the steering rod on it, and also the front suspension, and these will steer, as you can see. It was a bear to get it together because the bushings, there's two sets of bushings here, and actually on my website you could see it a lot better, but these two bushings had to be, make sure that the suspension is in between them, and then also the steering rod is between them, and then everything had to get glued together. So that it worked out fine. It's going to be good. It's all going to be good. So that's that. And I started working on the rear wheels. And what I found was that, like in most kits, at least most kits that I built that have solid axles in them like this, the axles are really way too long. This axle measures about just a hair over 3 inches, which is I think about 77.6 millimeters, something like that. Anyway, this axle looks like it's going to be about 10 millimeters too long once everything is together, because I mean this goes into the rear as such, and then these end pieces go on as this, and then these pieces are inner wheels that go into the wheels, and then the axle gets press fitted into that little hole. And you could already see out here that there's a heck of a lot of axle that's left over. And I kept looking, am I missing anything? Is there anything else that has to go on there? And there isn't. So I got to make sure I get a good measurement and then cut that axle before putting everything together. So I'm at that point there, and that's really all the further I got on it. Just like I said, there's just a lot of stuff going on external to the shop. Again, all good stuff. It's not bad. My knee acted up again, but I did find out finally what's going on with it, and it's just a touch of arthritis that, you know, I didn't know I had until this time around when it flared up. So you know, I've been to an orthopedic doctor, and also we'll be starting to go through some physical therapy. But again, I'm back in the shop and made a little bit of progress, just not as much as I thought I would. So I'm going to end this video here, and hopefully I'll be able to get back down here, you know, if not every day, every other day. And I want to get this thing out of here. So I just take notice that I didn't even paint this yet. I mean, it's just going to get black, but this is the color of the natural plastic. So I want to get it all together, and then I'll, without the wheels, and then I'll paint that before it gets mounted in. Other than that, we're moving along. Okay. So hey, thanks for putting up with me, and I did update my website with my progress on this, and on the website I take still photos and then I describe what I was doing. It is becoming cell phone friendly, because I know so many of people look at things on their cell phone. So it's there. This particular kit is already cell phone friendly, and so anyway, you could check that out if you're up to it. And I just want to thank everybody. I want to thank my subscribers, and I want to thank all my viewers and this whole community. You guys are a bunch of good guys and gals, by the way. So I really appreciate everything, and it's a great hobby. It's growing. I'm glad to see that. So you can tell I'm really doing this video on the fly, as I do most of them, but this one really on the fly, because I just wanted to finish off the first half that I did. I'm also in the process of switching my computer operating system from Windows to Linux. I've basically excuse me, I've basically had enough of Big Brother Bill, and my hardware is perfectly fine yet, but it will not support Windows 11, and therefore I just started using Linux, which means I have to learn a new video editor, which shouldn't be too bad. But I do this because I like doing it. It's for me, this is fun. Everything, the computer side of it, the model building side of it, it's fun. Call me weird, but it's fun. Anyway, hey folks, I'm really glad you stopped by. Please stop by again. If you're not a subscriber, smack that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Give me a thumbs up if you don't mind. And I guess I'll see you in the next video. All right? Hopefully that won't be too long this time. This hot weather keeps up, I'll be in the basement more than not. So thanks again. Thumbs up. And see you in the next video. Bye.